Coming to you from FPA at Shannon Forest, Studio Ignite. This is Crusader Network News.
Good morning, Crusaders. I'm Ellie.
And I'm Emma.
And we're the Bot Sisters. It's Thursday, March 7th, 2024. Here's your news from around the school. Our first grade classes will go on a field trip to the Children's Theater tomorrow, March 8th. They are going to see the play Pinkalicious. If the weather is nice, they'll also have a picnic in the park. We will have class pictures made on Friday, March 15th. Students should wear their school uniforms that day. Our class Easter parties will be Friday, March 22nd. I'm really looking forward to that. Me too. It's hard to believe, but our spring break will be here before you know it. There will be no school March 25th through April 1st. This past Friday, we observed Read Across America Day by having Dr. Graham read us some of her favorite books. She also told us about a reading challenge she wants us to participate in. Here are some highlights from that day, followed by an update from Dr. Graham on the reading challenge.
Today is Read Across America Day. I've got my shirt on and my hat on, and we're going to celebrate reading today. Does that sound like fun? Yeah. So I am going to read 4 books to you today that come from my own personal library, and I know they are kid approved because these are books that my own children would say night after night, "Mommy, read to me, Mommy, read to me," and I'd say, "What?" And they'd give me these books over and over and over again. So this one is called Billy's Bucket. This was my son's favorite book for a long time. This was written by Tess Gray and Gary Parsons. Let's see what happens in Billy's Bucket. "Can I have a bucket for my birthday?" asked Billy. Billy's dad looked up from his newspaper. "A bucket? You don't want a bucket for your birthday. No one gets a bucket for his birthday." "Why not?" asked Billy. "Because, Billy," explained Mom, buckets are far too buckety to be a birthday present." The next day, Billy and his mom and dad went to Buckets R Us. There were buckets of buckets at Buckets R Us. Rubber buckets, plastic buckets, metal buckets, garden buckets, farm buckets, builder's buckets, beach buckets, and even soccer buckets. Billy's mom and dad followed Billy up and down every single aisle. "What kind of bucket are you looking for?" they asked. "I don't know," said Billy, "but I'll know it when I see it." When Billy got home, he ran straight into the kitchen and filled his bucket with water. "Cool," said Billy, peering into his bucket. "I can see a rock pool with crabs and seaweed and a little shrimpy thing." "Of course you can, Billy," agreed his dad. "What's in your bucket at this moment, Billy?" his dad chuckled again. "2 submarines and a sardine," said Billy. "What's in your bucket now, Billy?" his mom giggled. 7 sea lions and a walrus," said Billy. "Of course," his parents exclaimed. Billy's dad just smiled and waited a few more moments. "Billy, is it okay if I borrow your bucket to wash the car tomorrow?" Billy looked up from his bucket and sighed. "No, it isn't okay. There's a coral reef in my bucket right now. You must never, ever, ever borrow my bucket." "What imagination!" exclaimed Billy's mom and dad. "But it's time for bed." Billy put his bucket away and went upstairs. "Thanks for a great birthday," he called, "and the best present in the world." And the illustrations are amazing. But it's called The Snowlands by Debbie Fleori. So let me get started here. This is about a farm, so even before the book starts, it's a map of the farm of where they live. So on with that. Oh, sorry, was I pointing to the right thing? Okay. It was just before supper when the snow started falling. Sam, his dad, and Bess, the sheepdog, were counting in the sheep from the field. So they were out in the field with their sheep and they had to count them to make sure that they all come back. That sheep twice, Dad, said Sam. Dad was looking up at the sky where the storm clouds gathered. The branches on the old elm tree creaked and Sam shivered. He looked around. I wonder where Bess is, he thought. If the wind picks up, that old elm could blow down across the power lines and we'd be in trouble, said Dad. When the sheep were safe inside, Dad yelled, Bess, Bess, come here. His voice was lost in the wind. Come on, Sam, let's get you inside. You look half frozen. Look how hard it's snowing, and it's getting dark. So Sam's a little worried about their dog. Sam wiggled into his pajamas. Help, he thought, I can't see a thing. He's stuck in his pajamas. Outside, snow filled the sky with blinding white flakes. I hope Bess can see to find her way home. So Sam's getting lost in his pajamas and needs help. And the sheep and Bess need up for Bess. So if you look at this picture, they've gotten close to the water and the sheep doesn't want to go close to the water, and Bess is pushing the sheep. But Sam couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about Bess. He could hear something outside over the howl of the wind. It sounded like a sheep. Sam tiptoed downstairs and unbolted the door. At first, Sam could see nothing through the whirling flakes. I said these pages have 4 different scenes. He's thinking about, goes downstairs, unlocks the door. So there's lots of stuff going on these 2 pages. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think he's going to find? Then something large and wet blundered past him, followed by Bess. Bess! You've covered me in mud, Bess, laughed Sam. Then he looked around and thought, uh-oh. He rushed upstairs to get Mom and Dad. So not only did they find Bess, he found the lost sheep. He wasn't expecting the sheep because if you remember the beginning of the book, they counted and thought they had all the sheep. Bring my best sheep home. Sam wrapped his arms tightly around Bess and whispered in her ear, brave Bess, I knew what a clever dog you were all along. I'm so glad you're home. So here they all are together. Hey boys and girls, today's day 2 of our reading challenge, and I want to remind you to make sure you get those reading logs signed every night if you've read 10 minutes. Check out the bags. Here are all our teacher bags, and I see some tickets in here already. Looks like Miss Kinley, you've got a good number. Miss Hines, you too. Wow, oh, in my bag, look at that. It is really full of tickets. Looks like I'm going to have to get a costume and get ready to be in the parade on wheels. Keep reading.
Thanks, Dr. Graham. We really enjoyed your books. My favorite books was The Snow Lambs and My Lucky Day. Well, my favorite books were Billy's Bucket and Mr. Tannen's Ties. Those are good, too. We encourage everyone to participate in the reading challenge. We really want to see our teachers dress up in crazy costumes riding their wheels around. That will be awesome to see. Keep putting those tickets in the bags. I really want to see Miss Mathieu in an avocado costume. Well, I want to see Miss Mills in a pineapple costume. Now it's time for our birthdays. Here's Rainier Lapp to tell us who to celebrate this week.
Today we will announce the birthdays for the next couple of weeks. 5th grader Gerard Els is celebrating his birthday today. 2nd grader Mia Crook has a birthday Saturday, March 16th. 2nd grader Edward Cowan turns a year older Monday, March 18th. And 1st grader Clara Shanath will celebrate her birthday Wednesday, March 20th. Happy birthday!
Thanks, Rainier. We'll bring you one of these really cool birthday pencils from your friends from Crusader Network News. We have all enjoyed watching the Mannequin Challenge on Crusader Network News.
This week we will feature Mrs. Leach and Mrs. Kinley's 4th grade classes. That was fun to watch. It's time for the Guess Express game. Here's Clara Petruso to tell us who had the closest guess on the jar of pennies.
It's time for the Guess Express game. Last week we showed you this jar of pennies and asked you how many you thought were in here. We have a lot of terrific guesses. We have a winner. Congratulations to Miss Hines' K-5 class. They guessed 500 pennies. There were actually 544 pennies, so they were pretty close. We will bring you the popsicles for your prize sometime soon. There will be a new container of items on our next show. Thanks for jumping on the Guess Express.
Thanks, Clara. Congratulations to Mrs. Hines' K-5 class.
There are a lot of pennies in here, and it's really heavy, too.
We'll bring you the popsicles sometime soon. I love popsicles. I wish our class had one.
Popsicles aren't really my thing. Throughout the year on Crusader Network News, we lift up in prayer all of our lower school teachers and students.
Here's Gavin Singletary with our Terrific 10 for this week.
Each week on Crusader Network News, we will lift up in prayer specific students and teachers. The Bible tells us to encourage one another and build one another up. One of the ways we can do that is through prayer. Here are our terrific 10 students and teachers for this week. 5th grade teacher, Ms. Thompson, who is one of my teachers. 3rd grader, Stella Roberts. 2nd grader, Sarah Dickert. 5th grader, Chloe Fulton. K5 friend, Bella Moore. 3rd grader, Shiloh Singletary, who's my sister. K5 friend, Luke Earl. 4th grader, Leah McLaughlin. 1st grader, Finley Deegan. And 4th grader, Audrey Cutting. Please post these names somewhere in your classroom to remind you who to pray for this week. We will give each of these students and teachers a special wristband like this to wear as a reminder that we are praying for them and that God loves them very much.
Thanks, Gavin. We're thankful to be able to encourage our friends through prayer. We'll bring you the wristband sometime soon.
That's our show for today. But before we go, we want to give a big shout out to the students that placed in the ACSI Math Olympics competition last week.
Here they are. In the 3rd grade, Eva Smith placed 4th in computation. And Caitlin T got a perfect score in the reasoning category. She's in my class.
That's pretty awesome. In the 4th grade, Mary Hannah Smith placed 3rd in computation, and Jackson Thompson placed 5th in reasoning.
In the 5th grade, Karis T placed 3rd in computation.
She's in my grade.
Congratulations to our winners. Great job. We're very proud of you all.
One more thing before we go. We want to remind you to set your clock forward 1 hour this Saturday night before you go to bed.
That's right. Daylight saving times begins this weekend, so we spring forward in 1 hour.
What that means is we all lose 1 hour of sleep.
I don't think I like that.
Oh, me neither.
Remember to always try your best and do everything in a way that brings glory to God.
Thanks for watching. We're taking next week off, so we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Remember to recycle in your classroom.
Go Crusaders!